Available to buy and keep in Sky Store now.
It's time to bring supers back into the sunlight. Elastigirl is our best play.
Better than me?
Watch it straight from the cinema.
Your mother did a new job doing hero work.
Things haven't spiraled out of control the moment I left.
Everything's great.
Choose Incredibles 2 on digital with DVD or Blu-ray. Buy and keep in Sky Store now.
Through all the highs and the lows, follow England, follow the roads.
Men in black against men in white. North versus South. Twickenham more than ready for another instalment.
England v New Zealand, tomorrow, live on Sky Sports.
Now available on demand.
All your life, not all your love, all your hate, all your memory, all your pain, it was all the same thing. It was all the same dream. And like a lot of dreams, there's a monster at the end of it.
Watch the critically acclaimed True Detective with the ultimate on-demand pack.
We're dead proud of you, lad. An underdog from the street who fought to survive in and out the ring. Just a fat lad from Liverpool, eh, Tom? Nah, you're much more. Sacrifices fueled success. Angry, drained and flawed to a world title at Goodison. Now, an unbeaten beast for all the belts. So before you step into the light, remember those steps through the dark. USEC versus Bellew on Sky Sports box office. To order, see Channel 491.
Available to pre-order in Sky Store now.
Snacks? Tonight, we're gonna steal Christmas in style. There will be temptation, and we must resist. Now off you go, Max. Fly! Oh, hey, look, it's me. Oh, dear. It's go time.
Pre-order in Sky Store now.
What a performance!
Raheem Sterling!
When we get it right,
The kids are on fire.
we get it right.
It's a masterclass for Gareth Southgate and his team.
Our first piece of silverware since '66 is still up for grabs. But we can still be relegated. Unbelievable! You're telling me. This Nations League is a tight affair, but we can do this.
Of course, the games against the contenders are special because if you win, they don't win. But we are in November.
It's special because it's a Manchester derby, and it means what it means.
We will have to defend deep. You have to defend deep, strong, well, defend the crosses because they are so strong. Avoid the set pieces because they are huge in that terms, by far better than us, and try to bring our game in the way we can control more.
I just want to play the match as an isolated event, difficult match against a very difficult team. But I don't think they think it's an easy match for them.
Good evening and welcome to the debate. Danny Mills and Gordon Strachan are alongside me in the studio. A huge game on Super Sunday. The Manchester derby, Manchester City taking on Manchester United at the Etihad. Gentlemen, the only place to start. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the teams in due course. 9 points between them at the moment, 19 points between them at the end of last season. At this moment in time, how far apart are these two sides, Gordon?
About 9 points.
How did I know that? I teed that up 3 weeks to say that.
No. I think you'll see the difference later on when we start picking teams to combine 11. I don't think it'll be as big a gap at the end of the season. I think there's 6 teams at the top there they're improving. And I think Man United will get better as the season goes on. Can Man City keep being brilliant all the time? We don't know. From a spectator's point of view and a footballer, yeah, keep going. But drag the other ones up. I think they're dragging the other ones standard, the Liverpool and Chelsea. They're dragging their standards up as well to a position where they are super teams now with great energy. And the two teams are coming off two great results, two big results for Man City in terms of scoring goals. But two big results for Man United being away at Bournemouth and away in Turin and scoring in the last couple of minutes, which gives them a real hope for going into this game, because they know the longer the game goes on, they know they can score in the last minute now. They've got something in their locker to score. But it also puts in the mind of Man City. Do they still, if it's still 0-0, do they go gung-ho, knowing that Man United can still score in the last couple of minutes?
Do we think, Danny, that when you look at the way that Manchester City approach games, even more so this season, the jugular is something that they go straight for pretty early, don't they, with these sides? Will they see that with United early on?
They are a phenomenal side. The way they attack, the speed that they play, the way that they play, two contrasting styles, we know that. I think the worry is for most of the Premier League teams is that we saw against Liverpool, Pep has decided that I can't do that every single week. And there are times, and he talked about it there briefly in the interview, they're both playing it down very, very cleverly. But he's saying we've got to be aware of set pieces.
I think Liverpool's the only team that can match them at their own game. It's only
but so he's aware, and it's going to be a tough game. City will play much better football. United will sit in and try and defend. But like he said, you know, you've got big team players like Matic in there. Fellaini can come on. You know, and just playing in a completely different way. So if United can stay in the game, it won't be easy. And we've seen them come back last season. You know, being down at half-time, come back. They're specialists at doing that this season. I think they've got to be careful if they go 1 or 2 down against Manchester City. I don't think this time now that you'll come back from that.
Is it surprising to hear we're talking from what Pep Guardiola's saying there about being? It seems quite basic that he's talking about being wary of set pieces, and obviously they've been there since day dot with football. But in that sense, that a manager such as he is wary of.
No, but there's teams you know fine well. Can you imagine Man City's training? Do you think there's got to be a lot of balls thrown in the box? So the centre halves don't get used to it. I was fortunate enough to be a manager one game between Celtic and Barcelona, and our tactics were any time we go wide, get the ball in the box. It was Piqué and Puyo, but we knew we had height. And we also thought, can we get set plays? And what he's saying there, we said to the players, when you get in the last third, and we want to go wide, because if you get wide, it's harder for them to counter-attack for wide positions. So I say, anybody gets wide, your McGeady's, Maloney's, take people on. Now, you either get beat or they foul you, you get there. So if they foul you, we get set plays, and that's where we become stronger. And I think that's where Man United will become stronger. If you say to Martial, you better take it, don't come inside and mess about. Go wide, try and isolate somebody, and the same on the other side, where that's take people on. Sanchez, take people on, get free kick. Man United shouldn't be going through the middle against this lot, because if they get you in the middle, they're incredible at counter-attacking from the middle.
And you know it, you could end up with Matic on the pitch, Fellaini on the pitch, Lukaku on the pitch, you know, Pogba, and just throwing balls into the box.
The two centre-halves.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge problem for City. When you look at their midfield, who's going to pick up? OK, you've got the two centre-backs that will pick up the best headers, and then where do you look at?
I think they'll have some sort of plan for it. They'll end up putting, like, 3 people up the park.
The only thing that might happen is, obviously,
like
when Barcelona played United, they just didn't give any corners. They might keep the ball, you know, and play that well, and just try and keep it... Because United will sit deep, City will have to try and dominate in their half, because it's a threat. But as much as we dislike how Mourinho plays, or some people dislike how Mourinho plays, you can't rule him out in games like this. You know, we saw in the week, again, in Turin, finds a way to win. And he will do that. He will upset the apple cart somehow, whatever it be, whether it be antics on the sideline before the game, whatever it is, he will find a way to be disruptive and try and upset Manchester City.
Do you think, when you talk about that physical presence for Manchester United, is that something that Manchester City can deal with, the physical side of the game? Or do they just say, in that case, we'll move the ball even quicker so we're not engaged in a physical battle?
I think it's difficult. I mean, United do have pace, power, big, powerful players in there. You know, Pogba's still 6'3", but he can get around the pitch. He's deceptive at times. You know, even Matic and players like that. But City are used to that. You know, they've played enough. They will go and play their own game, but they'll just be maybe a little bit more aware. OK, if we do give away silly free kicks, if we do give away free kicks, set corners, whatever, we've got to be very, very careful and really be on it marking and stopping players.
Yeah, I think you've got to test. If you've got that physical side, test them. Because I think if you watch Manchester United recently, they have two wide guys and Lukaku through the middle. They've changed it recently. But they seem to, because they don't get anybody around Lukaku's always coming to the ball and playing tricky stuff where he's back to goals and trying to help people with midfield players get them support. And he's taking himself out the box. I'll have to get somebody near him, so he's last man in the move most of the times. And I also think, I've got to say that they should be hitting a couple of diagonals to him. Remember, he used to Fellaini and using his power instead of bring him to the ball. And he's no Aguero and people like that. And say to these centre halves, right, I'm going to instead of playing 1-2s around it and playing nice balls, we're going to actually fight you. Because actually, if you look at his things, early Belgium, West Brom and things like that, and Chelsea, when we played straight balls and he's running at the corner and fighting with centre halves, he outfought them and kind of stumbled his way through rather than this football that's happening. And I think because he's on his own, but he's coming to the ball and playing. It's best he's one of these guys that can make bad balls into good ones. You know, he's one of them.
And Mourinho's not frightened, is he, to go, you know what, I'm going to put Fellaini up top, I'll put him up alongside Lukaku, and you know what, we're just going to shell it into the box. And he's not bothered about how they win or how they get a result. He doesn't want to play pretty football. He wants some kind of result. And if that means going long ball, going direct, we haven't really seen any teams with a little bit of ability hit decent balls into the box.
I think we're talking about long pass. There's a big difference between just belting it. I think if you drop balls into Lukaku in his chest and things like that, and they're struggling to get round him, they'll give free kicks away again.
And that's how he used Fellaini in the week, and that's what he does. He puts him up. Fellaini's huge, and we've seen him do it for Belgium, we've seen him do it for Man United. He causes problems. So if United is still in the game come the last 20 minutes, guaranteed that Fellaini's coming on and he will be playing in a forward role. That's Fellaini. I mean, does Lukaku, who's just got back into training the last couple of days today and then getting into the weekend, does he come back in to do what Gordon says, engage them physically? I think it depends how fit he is. And only Lukaku and Mourinho and his team and his staff will know that. Is he ready, you know, to put that effort in, you know, to put his body on the line? He's been ill. How much fatigue, how much has that drained him, you know, the last couple of weeks, you know, being out and not training as well. We'll have to wait and see. I think what you don't do is just overboard and hit balls all over the place. I think you mix up your game so it keeps the centre-halves on their toes, the defenders, instead of just playing with small passes and slow passes that Man United do at times, because they cannot break. When they win the ball back, their middle three, they cannot go and burst like Chelsea can and Man City and Liverpool. It takes their time to get up there. And that's what I'm saying. I think because it takes their time, Lukaku comes to the ball and tries to play with the three midfield players. I think they'll have to get somebody there, but then they'll have to go wide and work it wide, whether they're taking people on, getting free kicks, or try to get the byline, trying to cross, goes for the corner kick. Would you then, when you're looking at the personnel there, I mean, we saw the change that Rashford made during the week when he came on, very direct, doing what you're saying, trying to get beyond the opposition defence, pushing them back towards the goal. It's very hard to get beyond defences now. I mean, it's the balls that are usually 40 yards out. If you watch Man City now, when they get to 40 yards out, people from wide are getting in behind the people holding an 18-yard line. The days where you could kind of just go right over the top and chase it. I think sometimes you can put it down the side and Lukaku. But I think there has to be a variation of play. But keep in mind that if you can put the ball in the box or take people on, you'll get a set play, and set plays are huge. I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at England in the World Cup. They made a World Cup campaign out of set plays. But I think I've got to say that I think Mourinho 2.5 years ago decided to bully his way with that big side to go and win the championship. Unfortunately, this magnificent team appeared to cause havoc. This Man City team. I think the problem one of the problems that United have is they had such a huge game in midweek. All the tactics would have been building up to that. They've then got to recover. OK, confidence is high. You know, they'll be on that natural high. Has Mourinho had enough time to really work the last few days? Because City will play how City play. Mourinho, as we know, will chop and change and will do something a little bit different. Has he had enough time on the training pitch to really get that message across and be really effective in this? The funny thing about playing with really great players, I mean, world-class players, the further you go down the ladder, the more time you have to spend in the training ground. But has he got enough world-class players in that squad? There we go, here we go. We're talking about Man United? Yeah. No, Man United, sorry, I think we're talking about Man City, sorry about that. I've got to say that I think they've won 2 wonderful games and they've gotten a high from that, but did they play that well? You know, I think Jose said they didn't play that well at Bournemouth.
But what they've got in the locker now is we can win games. We can win games. For a wee while there, it was like, it's draws. Now they can dig out a win.
Is that something that they can harness going into this game? Because, I mean, attack-wise, when we look at the way that both sides set up, it's Manchester City are effective out there, they're efficient. And this season, as much as we talk about perhaps the personnel at their disposal, Manchester United, it's just nowhere near as effective. But is that yardstick a hard one to measure teams against? Because it is Manchester City.
United are now winning games and still not playing particularly well. You know, they're finding...
Is that a corner turn for them, you think?
I would still like to see the better performances. You know, even they are grinding out results at the moment. You can't keep going down and going behind every single game and coming back. That bubble's going to burst sooner or later. Is this, you know... This is such a difficult game to call. You can see City winning 3 or 4-0. I can see United nicking it 2-1 at the other end. You know, I think it just depends on the game. Players, do they rise to the occasion? Manchester United are going to have to pull out an incredible performance. And we haven't seen that. Although they've been winning, we haven't seen that level of performance. They're going to have to step that up. Can they do that? I don't know.
Is it tough when you are a manager setting up a team such as... And obviously we are talking about Manchester United. We're not talking about a minnow going up against one of the giants. But when a City team... Danny's talking about Manchester United playing well in spells and games, but when a City team dominates the tempo of a match from start to finish... Well, how do you upset that rhythm?
I think what they're used to now, if most people say, well, we'll go back and sit in deep, they don't mind that at all. Their mindset is ready for that. Sometimes you may have to change it and turn it on them and say, listen, we've got to go up there. I seen Wigan about 5 years ago playing against Man City. I thought I'd never see a like again. And they played 2 strikers. No matter what happened in there, I think Uwe Rosler was the manager. And still, it wasn't the Man City, but a top side, was Zabaleta and all these guys. And that gave them a problem, just keeping 2 up the pitch, because usually they're used to everybody going back or one staying up. It kind of threw them. And every time
that's what Mourinho's good at, isn't he? He has that ability to pull out a change, do something a little bit different to try and upset the apple cart.
Most of the changes, I think, Danny, when he plays Herrera going to play at centre-back, usually most of it's from a defensive side, his wee tweaks, rather than, I think, your other fella, his wee tweaks come from an attacking thing, not even like that goal they scored from the goalie's goal kick. You know,
but the worry back to front very quickly.
The worry for Mourinho is does he have enough quality to really change it up? We know United now seem to have pretty much a settled side when players fit. Does he have enough quality in the squad off the bench to make 2 or 3 dramatic changes that are really going to affect City?
They can't change their style. Both managers can't change their philosophy. They might just tweak something, but with their power, they can do a lot of things with their power. But they've got to make sure that their power is testing the players physically in Man City. The passing the ball is OK, but can you test them with power as well?
Well, I mean, we're talking quite offensively here, aren't we? But defensively this season, Manchester City... Again, that's been tweaked, hasn't it? I mean, up against... Again, it's...
but they don't have
the barometer of comparison is slightly different, isn't it, with Manchester United? But what have they done? What's changed?
They've got even more of the ball. They are like Barcelona when Barcelona... They dominate the ball so much. They're having 70, 80% possession in games. You know, and it's not just that, it's the territory. When the opposition have it, they have it in their defensive third. So they're never a threat. The goalkeeper makes...
There's available 9 of them, 25 yards from...
The goalkeeper makes 2 or 3 saves a game. That's all he has to do.
And to be fair, it's draining. Constantly watching where players are moving and trying to close them down. Physically, it's draining, but mentally, it's draining. So when you get the ball back, you go, right.
When you need to be at your sharpest,
you're drained.
And it's very difficult.
To be fair, the best team I've seen doing it against them was Lyon. When they won the ball back, they were unbelievable at weaving their way out of situations that were really tight and put 3 or 4 passes together. If you can win the ball against Man City and get 3 or 4 passes, you will get up to the other end of the pitch.
But the temptation is, when you win the ball back, is to go, we've got to score now. Because you think, we don't have the ball that often. As soon as we get it, let's score. And it's all a bit panicky, and you end up giving the ball away.
Unless you can go on a counter-attack, you've got to get 4 passes in. Then you can have a look and see where you are. Or, if you're under pressure, put it down the side and let Lukaku fight with the centre-half. So that's 2 ways you can get out.
But what City do well, and Pep, you know, that 5-6 second rule, the moment you give it, if you can go and win it, go and put people under pressure.
Or foul.
Well, yeah, but there aren't too many players that can deal with that type of pressure in those lower teams. City can deal with a high press. Liverpool, maybe Arsenal, some of Man United's players. But if you put them under real pressure, they'll give the ball away. So, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the ordinary or no bad players, because there's coaches will say, listen, we want to play like Man City, we want to play like, oh, good idea, but we're not very good at dribbling and passing. Because only about 4 or 5 teams in the world can do that, seriously. And people talk about passing, and Man City are a passing team. Do you know what they've got? Everybody in their team can beat you. I mean, at any time, in any position. And that's priceless, because it saves you dismissing the ball and playing balls at 40, 60%. What's David said? He only passes it when he's 95% sure you're going to get a good pass. And that spreads through the team then.
So that's not even the responsibility for himself, but the ball that is given to a teammate. So the teammate can do something with it.
The teammate will never get a bad ball that he has to deal with.
At the wrong angle or under pressure.
It's always at the right weight. It's never bouncing. And you never see a Man City player, if the ball's bouncing and knocking it on someone, it's always right off to protect
the hardest thing for Manchester City is making the right decision sometimes, because most teams, we talk about, if a team turns the ball over with Man City, they've maybe got one option, and you know where the ball's going to go. City win it back, they've got 3, 4 options, and it's then down to the player to pick the right one.
I'll tell you what, they're all close together.
Yeah.
Because they all go up like that, and then they play really tight to each other. There's always one guy there's always 2 next to him. So when the ball does... they lose it.
And I don't think people appreciate how much effort that takes on the training ground to instill that in the players, that belief, that togetherness, that moving as one unit all over the pitch. That doesn't just happen. You know, that's hours and hours on the training ground, you know, going through the drills, turn over, give the ball away, right, go and get it back together, hunt as a pack. Because
the reward for winning it back there is goal, shot at goal. Most players, when we lose the ball, we think, oh, if I go diving it, they could go up there and get a shot at goal and lose. They don't. They're oblivious to that. They go, wow, we're in there. If it does break, right, we can always get back.
Do you think, Danny, when we look at the way that Manchester United season's gone, have you seen an evolution, a tweak in what they've tried to do? Or is it just a case of, when you talk about results, the players gradually playing better and more coherently? Something as straightforward as that?
They've had a little bit of luck as well. No, you know... Are United playing better than last season? No, they're not. You know, it's simple as that. But they've still got good players. OK, some of these players maybe aren't playing as well as we think they should, aren't playing up to the levels that maybe we expect, but they're still top players. They've still got players in that side that can score a goal out of nothing, that can do something a little bit special. They've got moments in their team. It's still a good team.
They've still got character as well. I mean, Matic and people like that, they've got character. Don't worry about that.
So they're not playing well. They're grinding out results. But again, that can build belief. You know, so and you just keep going. I said they're not playing well, but they're now getting results.
I think Man United players will be looking forward to the game. I think a lot of teams play Man City and go, let's get this over and done with and get home. You know, but Liverpool are a bit different, and I think Spurs, but most teams. But I think Man United will be saying, yeah, we can beat them. We can beat them now.
Well, we asked the gents here in the studio for a combined 11 between the two sides. We'll go to Danny Mills first, as it's Manchester City on the home side. And we're playing fast and loose with the word combined here, aren't we, Danny, when we take
I was going to cross it out and just put Man City 11.
In the interest of balance.
Yeah, but I mean...
Talk us through it. Is it a no-brainer for you?
The only issue that I had was with the goalkeeper. But if you're going to play those 10 outfield players and play it the way that they play, I think you've got to play Edison because he gives you that ability to play out from the back. De Gea is a better goalkeeper, better shot stopper, in my opinion. I think he's absolutely brilliant, but he doesn't have the distribution. And I look at it. I went through it, and to be fair, on the bench, I had De Gea, Matic, Pogba, and Mata that would get in that. I still had Company, Silva and Mahrez on the bench as well.
The players you're talking about are top players who played in World Cup finals and things like that.
But they don't... Who can you leave out on that side? It is a phenomenally good side, simple as that.
And for you, Gordon, it's pretty similar. Well, barring the odd one.
But different.
Yeah. I mean, again, is it the case of, obviously, we're picking players, the standard across the board, obviously, De Bruyne is injured, but we're talking about a full-strength side.
The midfield three, I don't think anybody can argue with that. I just think that's made in heaven, that. It really is. My one was, I think if Mendy's playing, he likes to have a clear view in front of him. So Sterling, for me, would play in 30 yards and play anywhere he wants, Aguero, and leave room for Mendy to come up on that side. And Walker does his wee bit, he tucks in now, completely different from what he did at Tottenham. People saying he gets forward more here than... No, he doesn't. Watch the game. He actually tucks in a bit and he actually picks the ball up in midfield. Mare's staying out a bit wide on that side. And then, as our manager, once it goes to the end of the A6, said you could actually go for a cup of tea and then have a sandwich and come back and see how it went.
Don't worry, I promised that was done with an air of balance, but it just picked itself, didn't it? I mean, when we look at the side, the two sides going head-to-head on Sunday, what's the prediction? What's your gut feeling with the way the game goes?
OK, so City are... We both agree that City have the strongest 11, without a shadow of a doubt. But I'm still not sure about the result. It still could go either way.
Best 11.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. They are the best team. They're in the best form. They're playing better. But there is still something here. It's a Manchester derby. You know, we saw how Man United came back last season. There is character, as Gordon said, in their side. Mourinho will find something in there to try and upset them, do something a little bit different. They have set pieces. Guardiola's aware of that. You know, big, strong, powerful team.
And the 2 goals in the week.
So I don't think it's, even though Man City are at home, I don't think it's a given. You know,
no,
yes, they're favourites, but like I said earlier, I can see City winning 4-1. I can equally see United winning 2-1. So it's still within the balance of the game.
So 6-2 on aggregate, just to...
Well, maybe.
Gordon, for you, what's your thoughts? Do you see a City win?
I can see both teams winning, same as Danny, because there is so much talent, obviously. We've just looked at that. It's outweighing the talent on that side, but there's a lot of power on this side, and the power that's come in handy over the last couple of games. And I also think, you know, was it last year they come back from being down?
Stopped them winning the league, didn't it? Yeah.
So
will that play a part in that? I mean, the ability to know that they can do that to that side.
They've got that, plus the ability. They know they can come back in the last couple of minutes now. To score goals and win games, big games. Bournemouth away was a big game. Trust me, that was a big game for them to win. And away at Turin's fantastic, because I think the Juventus side are absolutely fantastic just now. Do they change? Man United, are they stubborn? The managers are stubborn. They stick to their philosophy. I'd like to see Man United white men coming in and playing a wee bit more, because I think they're playing straight lines. I think it might benefit them now to come in and out of there, because I think the top teams now have a freedom with a kind of front 3, front 4, whatever they have. But as I say, it's one of these games you go, right, let's sit down and watch this. I can't wait for this. Now, we get through the other games and we come to this one and go, right, let's go, I'll watch this. This is what football is about, real character time for every player now, because the whole world's watching you. The whole world's watching Man United. Can you deal with this team? Do you want to get beat with this team? Are you fed up with this? People telling you how great, and people playing combined 11s, and none of you are...
Well, and equally, you could have Rashford, Martial, Mata, Pogba, can all come up with something a bit special. United have got 7 or 8 players that, just off the cuff, out of the blue, against the run of play, could do something brilliant. You know, and we've seen that this season. So there aren't too many other sides in the Premier League, you know, well, certainly not outside the top 4, top 6, that have that ability with that many players. So it is Manchester City at home, the way that they play, they should win it. But there's still a huge debate and a huge doubt about that, I think.
Well, we shall soon see. And do as Gordon says, watch it on Sunday afternoon on Sky Sports Premier League. OK, after the break, Arsenal and Unai Emery are looking for their 16th game unbeaten at the weekend. We're discussing them next. Big-time boxing hits Manchester Arena on Saturday night as Tony Bellew makes an audacious bid for world cruiserweight glory against the undisputed champion, Alexander Usyk. There's a packed undercard too, with coverage getting underway from 6 p.m. on Sky Sports Box Office. Sky customers should go to channel 491 or Box Office to book this event. For more information on all the ways to watch, go to skysports.com/Bellew. Cable customers should contact their operator. Two cruiserweights in the studio alongside me, Danny Mills and Gordon Strachan. Gents, we're going to talk Arsenal now. Specifically, does Unai Emery have an Arsenal side, Danny, that could challenge for the title? Is it strong enough in depth?
No.
Next topic?
Not for the title. Defence isn't good enough. Simple as that. They are better. They've always played great attacking football, but when I look at their defence, is that a defence that can win you a title when you compare it to the others? No, simply not good enough. Going forward, brilliant, but Arsenal have always done that. It's better than it was, but I think their aim this season is got to be to get back into the top 4 or get back into the Champions League via the Europa League. But they're not going to challenge City for Liverpool for the title, no.
No. Is the defence getting better because there's more stability in the middle of the park?
Yeah.
You know, is there more there, more awareness of what the dangers are? You know, you don't have to be a big, strong player, but understanding where dangers are and picking up and protecting these guys that Danny's quite right to say that are not the best. They're not the best individual group of players you've ever seen. And as a group, they're not that great. And the games I've seen, the goalkeepers have made some right good saves to keep them in the game at right times. But I think it might be...
Torreira's been a brilliant signing.
Yeah, the wee fella,
how many over the past, however many, 10 years maybe, we said Arsenal need a proper sitting.
It wasn't the sitting player that everybody thought, you know, this big giant 6'3". It's somebody.
Well, Makelele broke that mark, didn't he?
Kante, doing all that.
So Torreira's come in, and he's allowed Xhaka to play a slightly different. Xhaka was brought in to be that player, and it just didn't work.
Yeah,
he wasn't disciplined enough, was he?
Yeah.
Torreira's come in, and he's quite happy to defend. He's quite happy to just do that job, and that's given the defence a little bit more protection. But it's now allowing the forward players to actually go and express themselves. They haven't got to maybe come back that extra 5 yards, 10 yards, so they can be better going forward.
The funny thing is that you're talking about Xhaka there giving a lot of free kicks away. Yeah, then that puts pressure on these guys that are not the best defenders on set plays. You know, and I think good midfield players now, OK, maybe need to be strong, but understand where passes come from and nipping in and winning the ball and counter-attack rather than going bang, finish, free kick, and the ball's going in the box, which puts you under pressure, unnecessary pressure. And we keep talking about how big these are, giving away silly free kicks.
Do we look at the fact that they are looking to make it 16 games unbeaten in all competitions at the weekend? And does that contextualise by the fact of the teams that they've played? I
think so. I think you've got to have a look at that. Listen, it's great going 16, especially in this league, no matter who you're playing, because it's been shown that you can have a problem. But I think the real test will come how much have they improved since the defeat was at Man City the first game and Chelsea the next one. How much have they improved when they play one of the big hitters again? And I'm afraid everybody has to wait till then.
Well, they're on this great run, but they're still 5th in the league. So you know that says it within itself. If they're still on this great run come March.
And they're still 6 points off the top of the league. Is that what?
Well, if they're only 6 points, they'll probably be second.
What a great run they've been on by the.
So we're talking. Tottenham had the best start to a season for a long time, but they're 4th. Arsenal are doing fantastically well, and they're 5th. So they're still a way off. So even if they have a little bit of a blip, they're just going to drop further and further behind. Arsenal have done great. They've beaten what's in front of them, but to win the title. To challenge for the title, you've got to beat those teams around you. You've got to do well against those top 6 sides. So far, Arsenal haven't.
Yeah, I feel it's very strange. Oh, what a difference now to Arsenal. What they're doing this and it's kind of similar. You know, really, it's kind of similar stuff. And it's a wee bit disrespectful to Arsene Wenger.
Why do people know that difference then? What are they saying that's different? Is it just because it's a different manager?
Because when it becomes a different manager, it's like, OK, Kyle Walker's become a great player when it's Man City. He was a great player at Man City. He was not a great coach there. Ross Barkley's now this magnificent player. He's only had maybe a couple of really, really good games. And the big game... Listen, I think he's a good player, absolutely. But I don't see that much different. But everybody goes, yeah, it's a new manager. He must be brilliant, this new manager. He's turned Barkley, which is a wee bit... wrong, because he's had managers before. Martinez, who's looked after a right good team in Belgium, can do it. So, all these managers work when everybody have worked to get him there. It's only maybe a nice way progression that he's maybe... But he needs, like Ross Barth, he needs to be playing 10, 15 games and playing brilliant against the top teams and scoring goals. Then you say... But I think he's brought a belt on himself. But we all get excited when a new manager... Oh, he's changed everything, he's done this.
I think a big part of Arsenal is new managers come in, and we've seen what happened at other clubs when someone's been there a long time and it's just nosedived. It hasn't. It stayed pretty much level. It might have gone up a tiny little bit, maybe bringing in Torreira, something like that. And so maybe the excitement is, well, actually, we haven't nosedived. We haven't plummeted. We look at what happened to Manchester United, and everyone was very, very wary of that. You know, Arsenal was there for such a long time. It was almost the Arsene Wenger institution at Arsenal.
Listen, I think he's done a smashing job. They felt to come and take that mantle, because
to
it's
keep
scary,
it level.
because if you have to come in after a legend like Alex Ferguson, you mean that's a 3 or 4 manager job before you really get that
So
going.
to keep it level, he's actually done it incredibly well, and I think that's maybe where the excitement is. You know, people saying we've got our Arsenal back.
It's a good point, because I actually thought if they dip again, they could be 15, 20 years away from a... You know, it's like the Liverpool Man United when they dipped and it took them 20 odd years.
He stabilised it immediately. Changed 1 or 2 things. Players are working a little bit harder. Maybe the demands, a bit more discipline is amongst it.
And also, it may be just a different voice for some of the players. You know, after I said, you know, as lads, the same voice for 5, 6 years, you sometimes need a change, whether you move or the manager moves. You know, you need that different voice every now and then.
And do you think Unai Emery's got a bit of a dilemma on his hands? Obviously, the horrific injury to Danny Welbeck that we saw during the course of the Whitwell last night. And when we look at moving forward, from a striking point of view, you talk about strength and depth. Have they got the firepower to keep them up and around chasing the Champions League spots? Well,
you've got 2 players in great form at the moment, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Which one do you play? Lacazette through the middle, Aubameyang out wide. You know, he's managed to fit them in. I think, you know, you can then afford to play Ozil in that number 10 role, who is, whatever you think, he's a fantastic footballer. You know, he's absolutely brilliant. His delivery, his passing, he's got a languid style that divides opinion at time, but he is a magnificent footballer. Get him on the ball, he will create chances. And those players have got pace, they've got power, they've got quality, and they're benefiting from that.
Well, this is who he's got at his disposal. Obviously, Danny Welbeck, we don't know how long his injury is, but it looked a pretty serious one.
But everybody's reliable. Tottenham is so reliable on Harry Kane. You know, Chelsea are incredibly reliant on Eden Hazard. Aguero at Manchester City. When you've got great players in good form, you're always going to be reliant on them. Danny Welbeck, it is a huge shame, and we really, really feel for him, and we wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
But he wasn't going to play week in, week out. He was going to come off the bench at times. At Arsenal at the moment, he's a squad player. Simple as that.
He's a good team player.
Yeah, they can survive without him.
And to be fair, when I see him playing for him, you think, well, you're a good player, you. But I think there's something... I don't know the lad, but I think, is he too nice? Because he just wants to be a good team player, because some of the guys who go on in life have got this single-mindedness to go on. Yeah, they'll work with the team, but I need to progress. He looks like, right, I'll back you up. If you need me to come on, I'll do that. If you need me to start, I'll do that. He just seems like a right good lad. But what a good talent he is. And I think they'll miss him in a way that you think, when you need somebody to maybe step in.
The impact side of bringing the player.
Seriously.
Those are the only other options in Nketiah there.
Even around the training ground as well, when you need, you need the reserves, for want of a better word, to play up against the first team. You know, to put in a shift in training to make it competitive. He's that sort of player that's always going to work hard. Set an example for maybe some of the younger players. Going, well, look, I'm not playing. I'm left out every single week, but this is the effort I'm putting in.
But I think that's the type of guy he is. Most we go, I'm off, I can't get a game. I want to play football. I need to play 40, 50 games a season. And I think he's got into that mentality where I'm OK with 25, 26, and I'll help the lads and all that. I'd love to see a wee bit more different, because there's a great player in there, trust me.
They can survive without him, though, I think is the simple answer to your question.
But would they look at spending money in January? You get the feeling that not necessarily what Emery would want, he would get, but he's obviously in quite a strong position where he can say, we need a striker.
I still think I think you've got 2 fabulous strikers in there at the moment, if they're in form. Lacazette now looks like he's settled into the Premier League. You know, Aubameyang has got undoubted quality, so that's not an issue. If he was going to strengthen, I would still strengthen defensively. You know, when I look at that, you know, the full-backs, suspect at times. Holding, you know, Mustafi, centre back. If I had money at Arsenal to spend, I would go defence. Simple as that.
Yeah, well, it's the two strikers.
Seems to be a concern for Arsenal fans tweeting in asking, do they?
The two strikers are all. If you only use one up front, you can bring another one. But if you're using one out there and one up there, what happens if if you want to play that system? Who do you bring in now to cover up for that? You know, it's trying to get the two of them into the pitch. They're two great players. It's trying to get them in. They have to find a system that suits them. They also have to find a system that suits Ozil, where he's not exposed wide, because he's okay in the middle when he can pick it up and do that, and he'll run wide to get on the ball, but going back in that wide position is not his best for him, to be honest with you. It's finding that system.
He's an out-and-out number 10, isn't he?
I think Emery and he's good just now. He's trying to find a system that suits the best players that he's got at the moment, so he sees himself for a season, get over this, and then go again and really put in a formation that he wants to work.
Maybe that's what he's doing well. Guardiola will play his way no matter what, and you have to fit his system. Mourinho will do the same thing. You have to fit his system. I think Emre's looked at it and gone, OK, I'm going to adjust my system to suit the players a little bit. For this
Guardiola
first
is
season,
more a philosophy, because sometimes he sticks Sane out the left wing and goes, right, you stay out there. And then he'll go, right, you're out of there, you're gone, because I want to have something on this side. He'll change it a wee bit, he'll tweak it. The philosophy stays the same, the pass and all the rest of it, but he can tweak it. But I've got to say, when we're looking at the combined 11, you look at the subs that they've got, he can play anything he wants. But the philosophy, the system changes, but the philosophy never changes.
But does Unai Emery's philosophy, where does that get them at the end of the season?
I don't think you can put a philosophy...
Where does his way of playing get them at the end of the season? Does they stay fit?
This first season, he's just going to get through it, and then he's going to have to try and implement his philosophy after that, I think. And that's what we're talking about. That's the difference. We know what Mourinho's philosophy is.
The mistake you can make as a manager, trust me, is take your philosophy into a team and try and get them to change right away to the way you think it, and they're no suited to it. It's disaster for everybody. You've got to say, what have I got just now? I know where I want to go, but what gets me through here to get results? Get on the player side, we talk about it, and eventually players will develop, or bring players in that you think, this is a system I want to play. Or, you might be... Let's take Gary Monk. Gary Monk was at Swansea, and they played this passing for the back, and they kept passing. So Gary goes somewhere else. Now he goes to Birmingham and he goes, right, we can't pass. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll play 4-4-2, basic 4-4-2, and be terrific. That's good management, knowing what you've got. Instead of Gary going, right, I'm going to come in here, we've got to play like Swansea. They're going, can't do it, I'm not very good at this.
And even Guardiola in his first season, he had his philosophy, but he realised, actually, it's not working. And he wasn't massively successful in that first season. So he went, right, OK, I need different players in. I've had a year to work at it. I can now tweak it. Goalkeeper brought him in, bin that 50 million, bring another one in, and do it that way. So,
how long does he give himself then, Danny, with regard to this is a bit of a holding pattern this season to get his points across? I mean, when realistically do they look at mounting a serious challenge next season, the season after?
You want to see improvement year on year. So this season is about getting back into the Champions League, getting back into the top four. Probably then have another season, not consolidation, but maybe challenging, and then it depends on money, depends on transfer. You know, Pep was brilliant last season. Look, I can only play this way. My team is only this good because I can buy the players that I want. If he's allowed to buy the players that he wants and then coach them and implement that philosophy and add to it, then they might be able to challenge. Manchester City might have a little bit of a drop-off.
Unfortunately, players he wants are at Man City and Liverpool.
No,
it's no easy to
so
pick
unless they're going to break the bank and
no
pay huge money, huge wages.
And to be fair, you're saying, winning the league, how far do you think they're away from Man City at the end of last year? A lot further away than Man United, that's for sure.
And Liverpool.
Yeah. So it's very hard for them to get up there. I think that's a 4 or 5 year job. Whoever's got to take it, get back there. If it went, as we said earlier in the programme, if it went that way over the next season, they're becoming 7th. That's 10 years to get back to the top. At least 10 years.
OK, that's the team battling to get into the top 4. After the break, we'll look at the teams battling to stay out of the bottom 3 come the end of the season.
Available in Sky Store now.
I bet you think you're pretty good at hide and seek. Well, have you ever played hide and eat? Yeah, that's a real thing.
Buy or rent Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in Sky Store now. Available to buy and keep in Sky Store now.
It's time.
I am here, and we are not talking about my future. We are talking about my present, and that's it.
If you've seen the performances, you have seen, listen, it looks that we are competitive. We need this little bit of luck, but we have a squad together who can collect points in the Premier League, who has a chance in the Premier League. Can we ask for more? No, we can't.
Although, you know, we are not written off, but, you know, like I say, bookies-wise, we've not got much of a chance of staying up. You know, I think the fans believe that we have a chance. You know, we have improved the team. We've got an outside chance of staying up, and I don't see any reason why we can't finish above 3.
Well, 3 managers there have been very realistic about their team's chances. They currently occupy the 3 relegation spots in Huddersfield, Cardiff and Fulham at the bottom. But it is extremely tight, up to about 14th, with Crystal Palace on 8 points, just a couple of points outside of the bottom 3. Danny Mills and Gordon Strachan have been alongside me this evening. Gents, let's look at the 3 teams that are in there at this moment in time, in Huddersfield, Cardiff and Fulham. Savisi Jokanovic is there talking about he doesn't feel under threat about his job, Gordon. I mean, what do they need to do to make sure that they're safe? They've already spent money. What's the next protocol?
Defensively,
there's
as a manager at that point,
you
might say it's silly him saying, I don't worry about my job, because there's a point where you go, I don't worry about my job. I'm actually worried about the players, the fans, the staff, everybody that's in the place. You want them to... You get past the stage of caring at that point. It's all coming at me. After a couple of weeks, it just comes and it just...
I think when you read Angelotti's book, he was very good on that. I said, look, if I'm going to get sacked, I'm going to get sacked.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it till it happens.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Because if you start worrying about it, it'll affect the players. Do not worry about it. If it happens, it happens. Get on with it. Because there's a point where the criticism comes your way, you go, don't care now. There's not much more you can say now.
Does it focus the mind as a manager to think that's the peripherals going on, so now even more so on the training pitch and the games?
I think so. You get past the stage where you think, oh, well, everybody's coming a go at me here. You go, I don't care now. Let's get on with that. And it maybe kind of affects you a wee bit. Then that can maybe affect the players watching your body language. And if you see through it, then you'll get the players back on your side. But I think they were all quite good. I think Neil Warnock was good. He understands that that's where he is. And I don't think they're down and out. Because I actually look, just checking, 6 points at the bottom? 6, 5 and 6, 5, 5.
2 5s and 6, yeah.
Last year, the third bottom had 9 points, you know. So I think there's got to be less points there to stay up this year, because I think the top 6 have got to take all their points.
Fulham have got, they've got the easiest job. They've just got to stop goals going in, which is, we all know it, it's easier to stop goals than it is score goals. You know, they've got 11 this season. Wolves have got 11. You know, they sit above mid-table. So if they can sort out that defence, that's not... I look at Huddersfield, they've scored 5 goals. Now, they're not going to get... The way that they play, very, very defensive. They rely on long throws, set pieces, centre-halves to score goals. That's not sustainable, you know, and that's why I would worry about them, and I would also worry about Cardiff in a similar sort of vein.
I mean, you say what Gordon said about the way that Savisi Jokanovic is talking. Is it similar with what Neil's saying? He's always going to be honest. He's always going to say the odds are against us. But does that galvanise the team?
I think...
To be fair, when you get in front of that camera on a Friday, you have to be big and bold. You have to take the fans and players along with you.
I think I went back to my predictions that I made start of the season, or before the start of the season, and even before the end of the window. Cardiff bottom, Huddersfield second bottom. I don't think any of us are surprised by that. When you just look at the quality, Huddersfield were incredibly fortunate last season, you know, to stay up the way they did. But this time last year, Huddersfield had 15 points. You know, and they had a fantastic, and they were doing fantastically well, and then they had a slump. You know, can they now change that and go on a fantastic run? I just don't see that happening. So I think they're going to struggle. Anywhere, I think, up to Brighton at the moment. Brighton, look, 14 points. They've got enough organisation, enough goals, I think, in their team
It's usually when it slips, because I think last year you were talking about Stoke being...
Stoke were 14th at the time. So you're looking at... I just think from West Ham down, all those teams below that have got issues. Above that at the moment, I think you'll be... You can't say Brighton and Wolves are out of it, but West Ham, Palace, Burnley down, all those clubs have got issues at the moment. Brighton are settled. And I think Chris Hughton's got them playing in a way that they're all comfortable with. So anywhere from 13th down, I think you are still in with problems. Still think Huddersfield and Cardiff will go, but someone always gets out of it. We saw that. Palace had 4 points this time last season, and they got out of it.
Yeah,
so
Zaha inspired.
Yeah,
so I don't see anybody doing the bottom with a player like him who can.
But Fulham have got a lot of good players.
You're talking about Hazard and things like that. Fulham. They're in a bit of a turmoil because they had a certain squad that played last year and it kind of got wiped out and trying for the new players. And they're probably, that dressing room's not really gelling just yet. Probably some of the guys who have played all the games last year think, I could be getting a game here.
I look at those bottom three, but I look at Fulham and go, if they won one, they could win two. They could suddenly...
I think Tom Kearney's been missing.
Yeah, they could. They're the team that could put a little mini run together of... win 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 6, and suddenly you leapfrog up to mid-table. I can't see Cardiff doing that. I don't see Huddersfield doing that. You can't see Southampton doing that at the moment. Newcastle, Benitez might come up with something if he gets a little bit of money, which we've seen in the past with Mike Ashley throw a little bit of money in January because he doesn't want to get relegated.
Half a chance. I don't think you need many points to stay up this year because I think the top 6 will be taken, but they're so good they'll be taking all the points away. As you see at the bottom, there's hardly any points down there. Last year there was more points down there. I think they're getting dragged away now. So every game, like the game last week with Huddersfield and Fulham, they are huge. I mean, they are huge games now.
Well, that was the first win of the season, wasn't it, for Huddersfield? And are we looking at teams that...
And going back, the winner was a set play.
But they've also used it... Neil Warnock's used the word. They used the word last season with Huddersfield getting into the Premier League and staying in the Premier League. They're talking about miraculous feats that need to be done by these managers. Is that the kind of ballpark that they're operating?
Yeah, I think the guys down there, Huddersfield, Cardiff, I think they are talking... If they stay up, it's a hell of a job. And I said, Huddersfield did it last year, how they stayed up, because I didn't think they were a great team last year, but they stayed up, they got there. And nobody's disputing their character competitiveness. Nobody is saying anything about that. It's just the fact that they've not really got anything that's got to change their game and win games. I think Fulham have. I think
and it's really hard. I was in that situation when we were at Charlton. I think at the time we broke the record, went 9 straight defeats. And it's really difficult to turn that around. You're coming in every day, every Monday morning. It's like, here we go again. What are we going to do different? We're trying the same things all the time, and we're getting beat. So you need 1 or 2 of those players to come back from injury. Those players with quality
By the way,
to suddenly hit a little bit of form.
The win can come from nowhere,
Oh yeah.
I mean, from absolutely nowhere. I had my first 5 games with Coventry, we never won in the league, and then Newcastle come along, who were top with Ginola and all these guys. And they were top league, and that was our first win, where people thought we had no chance. So it's amazing when it comes. As you say, after that, I think we got 4 wins in the trot after that. You never know where it's coming. You have to keep believing.
But I think in that team, I don't know who, but you'd have had some good players in that team.
Oh, Dublin, how could
I look at Cardiff, Huddersfield. Have they got those? Fulham, I think, have got some really quality players in there.
Talking about coming from nowhere, that's the end of the show, Coming From Nowhere. Here's a little show for what's coming up over the course of the weekend on Sky Sports. Begins tomorrow, Cardiff against Brighton at 11:30am. Super Sunday is Chelsea versus Everton first and foremost. After that, it's Super Sunday with Man City against Manchester United, 4:15pm. All of those on Sky Sports Premier League and main event. The debate is back on Monday. Laura's with Chris Boyd, Annie Townsend and Stuart Pearce, 10pm, Sky Sports Premier League. From myself, Danny and Gordon, thank you very much for joining us. We shall see you next time.